Welcome back to the A Show, the Kings Pro Wrestling Podcast. I am Justin, here with Meelz, and we got and in full disclaimer, we got a special show.
Mm.
It's a special show. It's going to be a short show because we have
Mm-hmm.
a specialer show next week. But this show is um really designed to bring you guys up to speed. Obviously, we're going to talk about what happened, what little things happened this week, and we're going to talk about a couple of the little news items for this week. But we're going to give
Mm-hmm.
you guys a little bit of a refrain this week, just because next week we have such a massive show. I'll go ahead and get the one announcement out the way so that we can get to the big one. Next week is going to be our huge WrestleMania roundup show. It's going to go about over the 2 hour mark. We're going to have a lot of special guests. We're going to talk about every single night of WrestleMania. It's such a big show that we're even thinking of making it 2 episodes. We don't know what we're going to do yet, because there's a lot of stuff that we're recording right now. In fact, we have to record pieces of it, throughout the next week. So that's why this show is going to be so short, because we're putting all of our effort in giving you guys a better show and a huge show next week. So when you see the length of the show, don't trip out. Because I mean, even now we're getting right to the chase or cutting right to the chase. But I want to get Meelz to talk about the even bigger announcement that we have for this week.
Okay. All right. Let me clear my throat for this one. Okay. So essentially, what's going on next week? We also have another major announcement. This is something that we've been working on for quite some time. Have been working on. Actually, the idea was brought up probably a couple years ago. And it was me, at least in this part, it was like, I don't have time. And to Justin's standpoint, are you Diddy? Do you have the same amount of hours in a day as Diddy? Oh, I thought
That's
so.
biting me. That comment has bit me in the ass ever since I told you that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Um, but with that said, I mean, we're formally going to announce we're setting up right here so you guys get everything kind of ready. Next week, we are officially launching the A Show Patreon. It has been something that we've talked about for quite some time. It has been something I think over the last number of years we've been building to this point. I think if we launched a Patreon 2 years ago, it would not be as pretty nor as sexy as it probably will be now, considering of all the amazing content and amazing creators that we have on hand. Shout out to everybody who does all the shows. I mean, Quan and Cyrus on the War Report, Channing, CC, Armand on the Rewriters Room, Dion who does the social and kind of everything, surrounding that. So I don't think it would have looked as pretty. But nonetheless, we're announcing the A Show Patreon. That means you'll be getting exclusive content. That means you will be getting early content. That means you will be getting access and also producer privileges. And you may be saying, okay, producer privileges, what? I mean, how does that work? You will all find out next week. Next week, Monday, we are officially launching the A Show Patreon. Um, the first show, of course, of the new Patreon era of the A Show will be the Rewriters Room. It will also be our major WrestleMania show, and any content that comes from that, you'll get that early. You'll get that in full. You'll get the director's cut of all of it, essentially. But there will be more to explain next week. There'll be more to unveil next week. So we're going to leave it up to next week because, yes, we have a truncated show this week because of all the stuff that we're recording this week. So just wanted to preview that. The A Show Patreon. If you're willing to, it's all about support. And I think this will help us we thought about ideas over the last number of years of what can help us get to the next level, what could help us in terms of just buying either new equipment or just taking our show to the next level. Yeah, or just taking it to the next level. Just on a basis of like, okay, we're here, we're there. We want to provide some stuff for you.
And
this is part of the plan.
and if I could piggyback off of you here, I think that we wouldn't have done this if we didn't see such an outpouring of support through last year with quarantine and COVID. Our numbers went up. You know what I mean? And people really, really respect us and they really support us. This does not mean that the shows that will be, this show will still be released at the same time every single week. Nothing is changing with this show. Okay. We're not going strictly, Patreon only. That's not what's happening here. You'll be able to get all the same content. It'll just be a little bit different. going forward. And that will be in terms of like what me and Meelz talk about. It could be cool stuff, it could be personal stuff, who knows? But we, more than anything, I don't want to like, be like, give us, what I'm saying, give us your money. I think that's the one thing, right, Meelz, that we were just like, we felt weird at
Yeah.
before. but rest assured that we're not using this support for like personal gain at this
Right.
point. We're doing it so that Armand and Channing and CC can get better mics, or Cyrus and myself can watch all of the crazy shows you tell us to watch. Every single week, every single month as spot callers. That is really what we're trying to get, and we have such a grassroots fan base. And I mean, let's just be clear. Like, I looked at our numbers the other day. Like, we're in the top 50, top 100 of these shows, and there aren't a lot of us out there like that. So I wanna give the people that support us more of a view inside of our creative process and stuff like that. So stay tuned for the A Show Patreon next week. I got a lot of work to do on it this week before we can like reveal like everything going on, but we'll reveal all the tiers for you guys next week. So stay tuned.
Absolutely. One last shout out. Shout out to the good people at Wale Mania who provided some very free and very warm clothing to me.
Yeah.
And yourself, I believe. So shout out to the good. I don't know what, Wale Mania looks like this year, but it looks good thus far. So shout out to people at Wale Mania, Foot Action, Foot Locker for sending the good stuff. And I'm sure you will have an opportunity to buy because the tees and the hoodies and everything looks fucking amazing. So yeah.
It is going to be very Wale and very Mania in a week. I'll tell you that. That's awesome. Let's get into like some quick news hits. Where I'm gonna try and keep the show. Let's try and keep it under 45 this week.
We say that, but we're some long-winded ass motherfuckers. So I don't know how we get there, but we can try.
Okay.
We can try.
Let's try. First up, NXT moving to Tuesday nights. In 2 weeks, rather, right after their takeover. It was a rumor that we saw coming a while ago. USA and WWE announced it today. Multi-year deal, moving to Tuesdays. I would imagine the deal goes through 2024, which is when the next TV rights deal is. So good to know that NXT has a home for the foreseeable future. Obviously, on Tuesdays, it will be on USA Network. On Wednesdays, it will be on Peacock. So that happened. I don't really have much more to say on it other than good. I'm tired of the discourse. They let these two shows be on separate days and give Cyrus and Quan a rest at least.
I'll be honest. My Tuesdays are pretty free. My 2 days are pretty they're pretty. I don't watch it. There's no wrestling on, which is rare in the week. There's nothing really on TV that I care to watch. I kind of get the stuff done. So the fact that NXT is moving to Tuesdays, I'm not mad at it at all. It continues if we're on a major pay-per-view weekend like we will be next week with all these 2-day shows. It continues a very strong marathon of shows. I mean, damn, we got. Have you seen next week?
It's insane, and that's if you clip out Dynamite, you're still watching a lot of wrestling next week.
Yeah, like I was looking at Cornell had it up. Cornell had it up on his Instagram, and he talked about like, he was like Hall of Fame this day, NXT 2 days, Friday night SmackDown this day, WrestleMania this day, Raw this day, NXT this day. I was just like, holy shit on a shingle,
right. It's crazy. It's gonna be Hall of Fame. I usually don't watch. I'm not gonna lie, so that'll be my break.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm not gonna watch it. I'm just. I will YouTube it.
It's pre-taped. I know that today the 2020 entries recorded their parts today. So the Bella Twins recorded their parts today. Not sure how they'll get Liger there. I'm pretty sure via satellite. But yeah, so it's being taped. So it's a tape show. I'll catch the highlights.
Yeah, why not?
But yeah, congratulations to NXT. I mean, there's going to be discourse with anything. Yeah, ran off by Dynamite, whatever. But you already know, NHL is coming to USA on Wednesday. So I mean, that to me is a stronger indication of they would have kept that show on Wednesday regardless because they don't have they don't have anything else to play on that Wednesday. So that is what it is.
No, you're right. Yeah, absolutely.
Let's get into the Andrade interview he did with Hugo
Ooh,
Sanovich.
very spicy. Very
Very,
spicy.
very spicy. Very. I gotta say, man, I lost a little bit of respect for him.
Why?
Hey, listen,
Why?
well, we expect these interviews at all times, and the
Yeah.
interview, to be honest, isn't incendiary. I'll just say the interview to me was pretty by the number. Wasn't being used. He wanted to leave, and he left. I think there's two spots in particular I thought was kind of corny. The Charlotte
Okay.
stuff where he well, three parts. One, he wasn't gonna name names. So it's like he's throwing shots and he's not telling us who it is. So like to me that's kind of corny. Two, the Charlotte stuff with the he that she had to actually come out and clear up literally right before Raw.
Shout
where
out to
he
Charlotte's team. Team
yeah,
Charlotte.
where
Sign me up, please.
basically Andrade says during the interview that they had taken COVID tests, and when she tested positive, they also said that she was pregnant, and he tried to say that they misdiagnosed her, when in reality, according to Charlotte, she had elevated hormones, which is completely normal for women. Um, Andrade made it seem as though WWE Medical was shady, and they suspended her for something false when it was really a precautionary thing, which was kind of you don't again you got a girlfriend, Meelz. I got a fiance. I wouldn't be coming out telling my fiance's business like that to millions of people. That's just
I
corny to me.
agree. No, I agree in a sense. I do think, however, I think that situation, it kind of circles back around to him. I like the interview just because he kind of, for the most part, he wanted to keep it around him. He tried to stay away from Charlotte as much as they can, but at the end of the day, like Hugo Safinovich is like apparently journalist extraordinaire. Hits harder than Lillian Garcia on Chase and Glory. He's getting all the scoops. So nonetheless, I think he knew at some point he was going to have to talk about Charlotte on the show. But I think overall, I mean, kind of every issue that he kind of had circle back down around to him, even the Charlotte thing. I think the Charlotte thing came in, you know, relative to that, like the doctors at that point was like, he was having issues with them because they weren't really informing people that he was cleared or something along those lines, and he didn't really trust the doctor in terms of this because of this situation that they had prior, which was apparently very recently. um I overall get what you mean though. I feel like those type of situations maybe you just kind of keep to yourself. I wouldn't say it in sort of an interview, but I do think it definitely explains the absence.
He doesn't even stop there. I mean, he even says people take pictures of her in the locker room. I'm not gonna say who. And WWE doesn't know, but wouldn't that be something you would tell? Like I don't like there were parts of the interview and maybe it's lost in translation. Again, this was completely in it was completely in Spanish. So like maybe it's lost in translation. We're all
Mhm,
reading from translators on Twitter. You know what I mean?
absolutely.
I was reading Lucha Blogs stuff, but I didn't like the Charlotte stuff. And I also didn't like the fact that he was like one thing in this interview differed in is that like and it was weird because it's the same thing with the Moxley stuff, and it was like it ended up being like everyone's saying like, oh, he's shitting on WWE, but I'm like, I didn't really hear that because he's still thanking Triple H, he's still thanking Vince, like he's giving like Andrade is giving it to his coworkers more than he's giving it to his bosses, and I thought that was really
Right,
weird to throw everyone under the bus except for the people who are making these decisions. Because like he was like, there's people there that want to quit, but they don't quit. They just sit there. And I walked away from $3 million. I'm like, yeah, dude, but you can go back to CMLL or you can go to ROH. Like a lot of people can't do that, especially not in a pandemic when money's tight. You know what I mean?
right.
Like everyone's getting $1 billion deals. Like I thought it was just really corny to kind of like put your coworkers and people that may have vouched for you or people that you know what I'm saying, like, and I'm not privy to everything going on, but I just thought it was kind of corny for him to be shitting on his coworkers like that.
But I think it also speaks to the fact that I think he's trying to say in this sort of situation, it's like the money didn't matter. And yes, money is definitely part of the issue and things like that. And yeah, I do agree with you on the standpoint of like he has the opportunity to go wrestle in all these other places that he's had before. But I mean, I think that speaks more to the work that he's done over his whole entire career than like more so the shitting on kind of everyone else, because he has established his name over in Mexico. He has established his name everywhere. He has proven to himself that he's an amazing sort of talent that should be, should be wanted in a sense. But I think overall, I don't see it that way. I see it as a person, and I think we can both relate on this in terms of just being at jobs and being kind of like, I'm kind of over it. Like, I don't even know if there's any amount of money that they could pay me to stay because I feel like I'm being so underutilized. And at some point, if wrestlers are looking out for their brand, it does destroy their brand, especially someone who's just been off TV for a while. There's no explanation for it. Week by week, we're asking where the hell Aleister Black is. And and before that, it was definitely, or at the same time, it was definitely Andrade, where we were asking like, yo, where's Andrade on TV? He should be used on TV. He could be used right here. Why isn't he being used? And I think it's more so to the guy who's like, listen, I want to be somewhere where I can work. I can pretty much, I love wrestling. I want to wrestle. I don't want to be sitting and catering for weeks with everybody else who's sitting and catering for weeks. I want to prove my worth. And if they're not going to sort of do this for me, I'll just do it somewhere else.
But
So,
he said that, and I think he was given time to say that, and he did say that, and I agree. But the difference between us and him is that if it's people there that's complacent and you want to leave, I'm not shitting on the people that's complacent and don't want to leave. I'm saying, hey, I'm least of all, I'm not saying it publicly. I just thought it wasn't player for him to do that. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like, but I
Let,
agree with you.
let Humberto do what he want to do. You know what I'm saying? If Humberto
I
want to speak
agree.
up, if Humberto want to speak up, let Humberto speak up. If Angel Garza, he talked about Angel Garza, like how they cut his hair and then he wasn't used the next week and stuff like that. I'm like, if Angel Garza, if that's a problem with him, you let that man speak for himself.
Mm.
Like you not they didn't he didn't break the mold when he quit his job. Mad.
Nah, but I do think he's talking from his perspective on it. He's like, yo, we do all these things, and he's giving examples of people who sort of sacrifice their time and their life, and they have really kind of very little to show for it. You know what I'm saying? And he doesn't necessarily want that for himself. I think it all comes right back around to him ultimately at the end of the day. Like he's seeing all these people. He talked about the Angel Garza thing where he cut his hair. And he's like, he's doing, you do all these things, you make all these kind of life changes, as life changing as a haircut could be. But you make all these sort of changes for the benefit of the show. But what are they doing back for you in return? And I think ends up being a lot of people's gripe with the entire situation, which is why a lot of people leave. Again, I don't think this was like the same bite as like a revival interview or the John Moxley one, or pretty much most people who went to
No, it didn't.
AEW.
Yeah, he went out of his way. Listen, I don't think he's gonna be gone for long. I don't think he's gonna be
I
gone
don't think
forever.
so either. I don't
Yeah.
think so either. I think realistically he just wants to, I don't know, he just wants to wrestle. I guess he didn't want to be off TV. I feel like they at some point, one way or another, he would have ended back on TV. But maybe his patience over the last 6 months has kind of just worn thin because he was like, yo, I've been sitting in the back for 3 months. I was cleared 3 months ago, and Vince McMahon didn't even know. So it's like, imagine what could have happened in all that time. Imagine it's like you're playing with my career in this sort of instance. Like you're playing with my time, you're playing with my, I don't want to say money because he's just paid very, very well. But, there's some stuff that I guess I would say money isn't, because I'm like, yo, everyone's like, yo, it's $3 million low. Like I could use $3 million, duh.
Yeah, like
But like,
that's not a flex to me. That's corny to me. You know what I mean? Like that's
I don't
not
think it
that's
was meant to be a flex. Well, yeah,
what it read
you
like.
turned it down.
Yeah, that's what it read like. But because again, you don't. Not everyone got that opportunity in the world that we live in. Like maybe if it was 2 years ago, he said that I would have been like, all right, yo, go to New Japan. You know what I'm saying? Go to
But you're hearing a lot of people also say that. It's like, yo, we turned down a bunch of money. I'm sure, what is it? What's my man's name? 10 count guy, Dillinger. He was like, yo, they turned me down the biggest
that was cap.
training deal,
That was cap.
the biggest NXT trainer deal that they've
That was,
ever handed out.
when he said that this played. That's what happened when he said that. Nobody
Oh
was
my
listening.
god.
That was cap.
Yeah.
But Andrade, I mean, all signs point to him either going to Chile to wrestle at a company down there, or go back to CMLL. So, I mean, those are pretty much places I expected. He's going to be an immediate star there and do a lot of work. I could see him working pretty much everywhere. I think he'll go on like the Del Rio run when he left and just really work a lot of Mexico and work ROH and stuff like that. So good for him.
Yo, I'm sure Del Rio's like, yo, y'all need the next Mexican
Hell no.
talent.
Say, hell
Yo,
no.
I heard you let go of Andrade.
No, they'll be like, hey, that nigga about to go to jail. Didn't he take somebody like hostage? Sorry, trigger warning, but like he took somebody hostage or something like that. He was wilding.
I have no idea. I'm so out of Alberto Del Rio.
Yeah, he did some wild shit. I think he's about to go to prison. But let's get through Raw and SmackDown.
Okay. Be here already. Be here. Let's talk about. Let me see if what we can do at SmackDown in terms of what was given. I think overall, just WWE, they're very much so in cruise control, and I think we'll see it even more next week because the go home shows for WrestleMania usually are absolutely nothing. And I expect Friday Night SmackDown, which is the day before WrestleMania, to be the most nothingest show that you've ever seen.
Oh yeah, they gotta set the well no they have to go to Raymond James at that point.
Yeah,
I would say SmackDown to me didn't feel like it was turning its wheels, especially like not on like their main storyline. But
no,
I mean, can we just be clear here? I think the WrestleMania both nights are really good shows on paper. There are some matches we've seen before. There are some matches that we haven't seen before, which could be really cool. Like first time ever matches that we haven't seen before that could be really good. That they added to the show as well. I mean, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued by the New Day match. I'm really intrigued by what they're going to do with Randy Orton and Fiend this time to change it up. Obviously, Rhea Ripley, Asuka, we've never seen that before. Like, there's a lot of stuff here that we haven't seen before, and that's what makes me excited about this Mania. It feels like a Mania card now. Right. In a lot of ways, it feels like a Mania card in a way that last year's kind of didn't. SmackDown. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I wanted to definitely talk about SmackDown because I don't know if we have differing opinions on the main event in terms of the Universal Championship, but I think we have differing opinions on like, I guess, how we got there. I don't know. What were your kind of thoughts? Daniel Bryan has officially been added to the main event. It is a full-fledged triple threat match. It is something that I have audibly said last week and probably the week before that I could not care for. He's going to add to the match, but I personally don't care to see him in the match. I don't think he's truly earned his way into the match. But what are your kind of thoughts on it? Yeah, what are your thoughts?
I think the story from Fastlane up to this week's SmackDown was done really masterfully. I think the overarching angle of Edge being so desperate that people keep essentially saying he's too old to do this. B, himself feeling insecure. I think that's a lot of what the character is. I think there's a lot of layers. To Edge's performance. I don't think he's a heel either.
No, but I hate that it's kind of like jerked in this direction, and not that I don't care for like a heel Edge or
what else could it be
or psychotic. But I feel like, so here's the thing. I felt like but no, I feel like he's been jerked in this direction, and I say that because I felt like it was something that was a gradual build that I think would have happened anyway. But now it's kind of like, now he's deranged all of a sudden because another person has been added to this match, and it kind of like fucks up his idea of a main event.
Well, I think that it was built, and he's been saying for weeks that he doesn't feel like Bryan should be in the match, and he felt like he earned it. I think it has been a gradual. This is the only storyline that has been going for the past 3 or 4 months. Honestly, like it has been very gradual in the sense that like there is a clear. And here's the thing: you
think Daniel Bryan was always supposed to be part of this?
I don't think from January, but definitely from February on. But I think that no side in this story is right except really Roman, because he's the champion, right? Mm-hmm. Edge has been wronged, Roman has been wronged, Bryan has been wronged. There is arguments on each, and I think that's what makes it a more compelling storyline, in my opinion. Bryan was screwed out of his opportunity in Elimination Chamber. He didn't think that the match was going to be, right after the match had ended. And then, all the stuff that happened afterwards, Edge rightfully earned his spot, and now someone like Brian telling him he didn't earn his spot. I mean, again,
Right.
it's a respect thing. Roman is sort of just like, y'all are jerking me around. Like, I don't even, what I'm saying? Like, Roman's been wrong more than anyone here. It's especially for the heel. I think, again, even if, and it's so crazy to me, people are like turn on Brian. I'm like, come on, guys. But like, I think that
I get it. I have a little bit, only because I
I,
genuinely feel like he
what I
hasn't earned
saw,
his way into the
you know what
match.
I saw? I kept saying like people always like take it to like race stuff. It's like really weird. It's like, I know the white man muscling as well. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, it's
But
so weird. It's not.
it's
It's
like,
not a storyline. It's not.
but I mean, it's not, but obviously it's not. But it's the sense of like, we always talk about this idea of failing upwards. He failed upwards. He 100% did, and it's not a respectable fail upwards.
Ain't no racial thing to it. Mad niggas in
No,
the
there's no racial thing. He's just
like,
white. He's
I,
just a white guy.
I was just speaking on what I saw on Friday, and I was just like, can y'all just like chill with that? Like, it's not
Yeah.
that serious. I don't hate it. Okay, I think storyline aside, they've never been able to build really good triple threat main events in WrestleMania anyway. Um,
Mm.
let's just
I
be
would
clear.
say you're wrong, but I would
There's
also
only been
not be
one.
able to mention this main event.
Yeah, there's only been one. I mean, if you don't want to talk about that, we could talk about the Cena Big Show. Was it Edge
Oh,
one?
see, now you put in a terrible comparison.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I don't even think the women's one was built that great either. We even talked about it on this show until the police angle. They had to get the police involved. So like, let's just be clear. Like, what standards are we really holding this to say that this is just like the worst shit ever? I mean, we've seen worse. We've seen worse on this card. At least this is a storyline that we've been watching for since January. That's been happening
Mm.
between these guys. Some of this shit has been. We're gonna talk about the Hurt Business stuff. Some of this shit has been happening for like a week. You know what I'm saying? So like, I respect it for that. It's gonna be a banger. Come on,
Yeah, it's
and
gonna be a banger, of course. Yeah.
honestly, like looking at Edge, come on, man. He lost a
Oh,
step.
come on, don't do that.
He lost a step or two. He needs
Yeah,
to
but
leave
he's
it out.
47 years old. Like,
Goldberg moving better than him.
no, don't say that. Goldberg barely moves, bro. Goldberg hasn't had a match on
Goldberg
SmackDown in
moving.
years. At least Edge is out here wrestling Jey Uso on SmackDown. Goldberg, obviously, he couldn't even. Drew tried at the Royal Rumble. He was like, "Listen, I'm not even gonna try to pull out a 4-star out of this. Let's get some kicks. Let's get some spears in. You hit your head in the turnbuckle, and let's call it a day." You know what I'm saying?
Listen,
Um, I think,
Ed,
yeah.
Triple H was moving at 47 better than Edge.
How old is Triple H?
Like 52, I
50,
think.
right?
Yeah.
50 something. Yeah.
He was moving a
Okay.
little. He was. Hey, that's all I'm gonna say. Edge is moving a little slow. I think Edge needs to get his new style out, and he
Mm.
needs to, like he needs a new style. I think because
He's
he's
too
not.
big and lanky to get like a different type of style. He's too like big and lanky. Like, I can't see him like ultimate submissionist just out of nowhere.
Also on SmackDown, Cesaro, Seth Rollins was announced. Apollo Crews, Big E was also announced. I told you, Meelz, they're going to do it at
Well, yeah,
WrestleMania.
all right. Well, I guess
Um,
they should have combined the matches. They should have just had a fatal 4-way.
Sasha Banks, Bianca Belair. Bianca had a great promo, I thought, on
Ooh,
Friday.
Bianca's promo. Let's talk about it. It was amazing. It was a moment, I think, that summarized the entire feud, and a lot of people were questioning. It's like, Bianca, why didn't you just? Obviously, you could break her in 8 pieces. You could break her like a pretzel. Why didn't you do that? And she's like, listen, I'm waiting in the wind. I'm waiting for the opportunity. My mama, when she drops to my mama, my daddy said, et cetera, et cetera. It's fire. Um, and she had an amazing promo, and I was like, damn, this is the kind of caliber promo that I expect for WrestleMania, that I feel like I'm not really getting out of Sasha Banks, unfortunately. But I do think Sasha Banks is currently in her element, being a little bit more nastier, being a little bit more heelier in this sort of opposition to Bianca Belair, as opposed to like, aren't we glad that women are just main eventing WrestleMania? It's like, no, bitch, now I hate you.
I honestly feel like this matchup, this feud is gonna go on after Mania. So
Mm,
I'm already kind of setting expectations to whatever they might do next weekend. Um Bianca should win, obviously, but this match doesn't seem like the barn burner blow off to me. It seems like the beginning, and that's usually what Mania's been doing lately, right? Like it's really been starting feuds, which is kind of weird
Yeah,
because
because they got what do they got next? Extreme Rules,
Money in the Bank
Money in
in
the
May,
Bank. There you go.
yeah, in May, yeah. So like again, like these feuds splinter off. I mean, you already know from the Edge Daniel Bryan thing, that's not over. We know that's not over.
Hmm.
After Mania. So like it is weird, but really good promo. I'm thinking Sasha will injure an appendage on Friday or something like that to having an advantage into the match. I just foresee it.
Absolutely. Well,
No Bailey on Mania yet. Isn't that weird?
yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people. For someone, I think for every WrestleMania where they've kind of ensured that we're going to get everyone on the card in some instance, one way or another. There's two nights, so there's more opportunity to get people on the card, to be quite frankly with you. Um, and the fact there's not, a lot of people are missing. A lot of people missing from the show. We still have yet to see for all the tag titles on the show. There's yet to be a match that's been named. There's yet to be sort of any sort of I mean, the undercard's pretty filled out. I'm actually not sure
I don't know how
how
they do
much
it.
more we got left. I loved on SmackDown. Well, how do you think about this? I mean, the Sami Zayn Kevin Owens feud, Logan Paul. What are your thoughts on?
Hey, viral movie. Viral movie. That's what
Oh my god.
I don't think I hope he doesn't play a
Is
part in the
Logan Paul playing the Mike Tyson in this feud to the Austin versus Shawn Michaels? Is he gonna knock Sami Zayn out at the end?
Hey man, I think at least we're seeing that like celebrities, they need a bag right now. You know what I'm saying? So like they're trying to get bags anywhere. So like if they can get a Logan Paul, go ahead and get a Logan Paul, man. I'm not mad at it. You know what I mean,
You know, yeah, yeah. You know what? Not mad at it either. Not mad at it either. Yeah, not much else from SmackDown that we need to go through. Now Raw. Oof.
I don't know. I didn't feel like Raw was an oof show. Again, had really good matches. Uh,
It.
If you can
You
give
know
me
what? Fair.
if you can give me
Fair.
good matches, I'm good with it. I thought AJ Xavier was really good.
I didn't
Almost
even watch that.
I thought again, Riddle, Sheamus they gave it time. These two they have not missed. I thought Shelton, Bobby
Let's talk about quick sidebar. Timeout. Flag on play. Let's talk about Riddle for a second.
they don't need to be having
Riddle.
they don't need to be having him on the show that much. Doing promo.
I think is our truth out for COVID or tracing or something?
Gotta
Because
be.
yeah, I agree. He did not be on the show that much. He was on the show at least 3 times in backstage segments with things that didn't even concern him. And then he forgets his lines with Asuka. And I'm just like, that's a man who's been told too many things
At
in a
one.
very short amount of time.
Yes. What does he do? Like I don't even blame dude because it seems as though they had him doing everything on Monday. Like literally everything he was doing it.
And he has to come up with such very distinct stories. It's like when I get my scooter and I go to Japan, right? And da 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 and da like these very distinct stories. I was like, yeah, I would probably have fucked up too. My man
Yeah, I mean,
just scooted off, and I was like, you know what, fair.
and he had
And
Russell.
Oscar, yo,
Oscar was out there on a limb. She was just like, all right, I'll just walk away.
Oscar was like, what?
So
Okay.
weird. I guess the big story coming out and listen, I thought it was well done. Let me just say right now, a lot of people were really like, milking the Hurt Business thing. There was a ceiling to this group, guys. I'm sorry. They're not like a New Day.
Hmm.
There's a ceiling to this group, especially when you consider they broke up Retribution. They're breaking up this group. There needs to be more people on Raw who are malleable in different positions. If you break up the Retribution crew, that gives you 3 or 4 more people to use on the TV show after Mania. If you break up Hurt Business, that gives you two more people to use.
You ain't use how much are they using Shelton and Cedric Alexander?
I think
What
a lot.
programs do you see spinning off from this?
Tag team,
Just be real.
tag team.
Tag team, yeah, tag
They need
team,
tag
yeah.
teams. They need tag teams. I think Retribution, Dijak, and other bruh can be a tag team as well. Um, I think
um,
Mia Yim is needed. Rhea,
BM is 100% needed. Yeah,
Rhea needs dance partners. I looked at it as They broke up 2 teams in 2 weeks. They need more bodies on the
I
show. And
don't think, but I don't think they needed to do that like right before WrestleMania, right? Like it didn't make sense from where,
no,
and this has kind of been my problem with the Bobby Lashley character itself, and I think he's experiencing these problems himself because he's starting to trip over his lines because Bobby Lashley is just an angry guy in a great suit. He's really a very giant sweaty head who has to make a lot of facial expressions that he's mad, but there's no really reason of why he's mad. He's just a guy with a lot of, I mean, ruthless aggression in a sense. And there's nothing really deeper than that. So when he has these situations when he just kind of lashes out, he's like, you guys couldn't handle it, and you guys thing. So now we're officially breaking up. I'm like, but where's this anger coming from? Where is this? Where why are we doing this? I understand the logic behind doing it in terms of what you need for the show. But in terms of a story, it just seemed like for someone going against Drew, you may have needed them. And I'm not sure why they necessarily broke up the group, and I'm not sure why
not
MVP
mad.
was so gun ho with it.
He's not even mad. He's like, it's the delusional champion thing that they're rushing. The delusional
I don't even
champion
think he's delusional. He's been so
is
mad since
because
US champion. He's
it,
been just mad.
no, no, I'm not saying that, bro. I'm saying like this in this current incarnation, he is doing not delusional. He's desperate. He's doing the desperate thing a little too quickly. I think if they would have done okay, there's nothing I can do to stop this guy, Drew. He has already made it so that my guys can't be in the ring. He's defeating everyone. I put out a bounty. No one's answering it. He's desperate because he knows that Drew beat him last time. He knows Drew is pretty much like unstoppable. They
But
should
he's
have
not showing enough of desperation, in my opinion.
well, let me get to it.
Okay.
They're trying to show that, but they're rushing it. The desperation was that it's almost like, remember when Edge basically broke up the whole family, the familia. He
Yeah.
Edge heads. He said fuck Vicky because he was so desperate about Undertaker, I think, at the time. It's kind of
Yeah.
like that, but it's like there was no build up to it. The Hurt Business hadn't failed enough. MVP hadn't failed enough. Bobby Lashley hadn't failed enough. It just came off as y'all fucked up one time. All right, bet. And then he, what I'm saying? Like there was like no reason for him to fire them. I think they rushed it along. Now in practice, in the larger picture, I don't mind them breaking up because I felt as though that group had a ceiling. They've been faces, they've been tweeners, they've been heels. I get it. But in terms of doing it right before Mania, like right now, I don't think it was the smartest thing that they could have done for Bobby's character because if he loses, he's on an island again. Like he's
Yeah.
back to like having nothing. And he's back to beating everyone. And then, not really like, because the thing is, you built him up for this. Now he's got to stay in that. He's like Meelz. He has to stay on the top of the card now. He's a former champion. He can't just go right back down to the mid card. He's got to stay there. So,
That's what you think, huh? Have you met
I
my
mean,
guy, The Miz?
yeah.
Shut up.
He got jacked by a Grammy Award winner this week. You want to talk about that?
Listen, all I hear is money. All I hear is money when I do this. You know what I'm saying? Like beyond the Lashley thing. Well, are we officially transitioning into Miz and Bad Bunny?
Baron Corbin showed up.
Ooh, yeah.
Beat down Angle.
What's that about? A bald-headed connection. Nothing more, nothing less.
They used to be homeboys. So it made sense.
What, he's on SmackDown.
I think it was like I think he said like the call reverberated to the SmackDown locker room, and I said, okay, moving on. I listen. People get so mad about this shit. I just be like, all right, bet, and
no. I agree with you. It was kind of something that I was just like, all right, I guess. I mean, if this is what we're doing, this is what we're doing. But in a sense, I was also like, there is no one. I mean, so they went through Ricochet and Mustafa Ali. And they were like, all right, we have cleared out the locker room of any three.
They say, nigga, you think Umberto's gonna come out? Yo, he went in the locker room.
I don't like that.
That was kind of fucked up, especially like in light of the Andrade interview coming out hours before this. I was like, that was kind of green.
Oh, you're gonna go on social media and make a name for yourself? It's like, yes, I will. Because God forbid I go and make my own damn name and do all these things. You headbutting people, talking to Ricochet, and then okay, so going back to the Baron Corbin thing, the fact that the matter of fact is just like that Raw is like deep to an extent. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone else kind of under the main players on the show is not qualified to be on the show. I would have liked to see like, yo, come on, does Jeff Hardy want a shot at the WWE Championship? Like,
Where is he?
but I don't know. He might be on his way out. To be honest with you,
You talking about, and the AEW lets you be more let you be more creative. I said, all right, good luck.
I feel. Listen, as soon as Matt went to AEW, I was like, Jeff's days are numbered, and not in the sense that Jeff can't do his own thing, but Jeff always likes to try something new, and he's got an open door policy with WWE. He knows he can leave and come back whenever the fuck he wants.
This might be the last time.
I don't know.
HOF.
You're right. But no, it was weird. Miss John Morrison, hey, hop hop. How did you feel about the song? Let's see. We're both former music journalists. How did we feel that the song connected to the people?
I mean, I think Lil Nas X might have a little bit of competition for them next week, but I think a solid number 2, number 3 is a good way to debut.
Oh my god, it is corny,
Why was it 5 minutes long?
It was really long. No, this was like nearly 4 minutes long, but it was still for a WWE parody song. It was a full length song.
Talking about they got Balenciaga and all this. I was like, yo.
Did you see the Montclair on Morrison?
Yeah,
Montclair Morrison?
I was like, yo, they really getting to it.
Listen, if you're not gonna be in this match, you at least gonna stunt. You're gonna do a little something crazy. I respect it.
That boy got the doodle walk. I'm like, I don't even know why they're making him move around without a crutch, because he does not look well walking.
No, you might need surgery, but they might want to hold it off.
Let him go. I don't understand why they don't just let him go.
Nah, it's WrestleMania. It's WrestleMania time. Who else are you gonna put?
They let Andrade go because they have the actual next Latin star in Bad Bunny.
This is true, and they got their, if not him, of course you have what's his name, Damian Priest. I mean, if anything was going against him of Andrade's English, Damian Priest speaks perfect English, and he's Latin, and he's cool, and all this other stuff.
He's cool.
So
I don't think he'll shit on the locker room. What else happened on
Raw? Game night.
Yo, they're having a blast, man. I can't even hate on it. They're having a blast. Like I feel like they've always wanted to work together.
I think so too, because the thing is that obviously AJ is such like over the top, which is great. I think he fills that Chris Jericho role.
Absolutely. Yo, you hit the nail on the head. Absolutely.
He is so over the top, but you can place him kind of anywhere. You can switch him up if you want face, heel, doesn't matter, because he does everything. He's your Swiss Army knife. But at this point, he's so over the top with his things, and New Day is so over the top, and they're also trying to include Omos in on over the topness as well. They're just having fun. Yeah, they're just having fun.
Give them the belts. That's what I say.
Yeah.
Give them the belts.
Yeah. You want to talk about the women on the show, or the lack thereof?
Why does Nia have to be in every segment, bro? Why does everyone have to like? But they're doing the tag team thing with 2 different women's championship matches.
That was, first of all, 1, that's so whack. 2, big question, big question, because I think everyone had the similar thoughts going into this contract signing. Is Charlotte really not on WrestleMania this year?
Doesn't look like it. I think Andrade all but confirmed it.
That's crazy. She's in all of the promotion. Well, most of the promotions.
I think Andrade confirmed it.
Damn, elevated hormones, huh?
Yeah.
Nonetheless, yes, I don't like the fact that Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler seems to be orbiting a lot of programs that they have really nothing. They don't have a match yet. They're everywhere except WrestleMania because they don't have a match yet. You know what I'm saying?
And I think there is going to be an interpromotional match. I just don't know why it's taking them so long to, like, she's been on her back for a lot of losses in the past 3 weeks. And I think that is going to lead to like a multi-woman match. It's just like,
Mm-hmm.
will I give a shit? No. I think that like that if that's any contender for a pre-show, it's going to be that match.
I agree. I
Absolutely
agree.
that match. What a shame for Shayna's second WrestleMania going from Becky to this shit. I hope they can get
Yeah,
her
listen.
hot again because Rhea and Shayna is a feud that you can continue on with for months, and you know what I'm saying, for months and months. Like they didn't quite hit it with Asuka and Shayna, which is like that's the one thing, Meelz, that did perplex me over 2020 is that they just didn't do that. It's very weird they never had a one-on-one match in that time, but who knows?
So Oscar versus Rhea Ripley. We're getting this for WrestleMania. The contracts have been signed. The tables have been flipped very hard in Oscar's face, by the way, because she was down for a while. She's like, "Damn, I just got my teeth knocked out. Are you guys fucking with me? Do I need to really start stiffing people again? Like, does that really need to happen?" Um, how do you feel? Just kind of with the are you just like accepting this as kind of like, okay, this is the match, this is where we're getting it, let's just do it? Is there any sort of things you wish from this program in terms of like maybe we get Rhea over, maybe the belt goes to Rhea, maybe Asuka continues her reign until Charlotte shows up? Is there anything you're expecting from this match with the very little that we've gotten?
I don't see how you get Rhea over because they haven't put her in any type of position to get over. You know what I mean? Like she hasn't beat anyone, she hasn't fought anyone, she hasn't squashed anyone. Like I don't get what exactly the call up. Well, I get what the call up was for, but it's like you didn't really do much to make me like if she beats Asuka at Mania, I'll be like, okay, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because they haven't really made her like a monster yet. You know what I mean? And granted, they could have a great match, but when it goes back to TV that Monday, it's like she got a great match with Asuka, and now she just has the belt with no, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
people that don't watch NXT, they don't know how dominant she was on that show. And even when she went out on NXT, she wasn't even dominant. She went out on a loss. She actually got fucking sent out the territory when
Right.
when she lost on NXT. So like on one end, like she should win and stuff like that, but it's like I don't know how they're gonna make her look strong that any stronger than she does right now. I honestly, Meelz, I just have no clue. I mean, she's been on main roster TV before, but again, you got to reintroduce her now. This is a new character. She's gonna probably be a heel now, so you got to reintroduce her in the right way.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Damn, I think that's it for Raw.
Yeah. The card is pretty
Oh,
much
wait. How do you feel Braun Strowman's report card?
that boy dumb, man.
How you get a D plus?
Jim.
How do you even is that fathomable? They've done the Shane McMahon Braun Strowman thing. I can't think of a feud that has been so poorly. This thing feels like we're writing this on the way to the ring. And I know that's not the case because Shane McMahon is involved,
They've
but
had
it still feels dumb.
they've had months to start this. Months.
The idea is that Braun Strowman is dumb, right? And that's the impetus for this feud. Is the retort that Braun Strowman is the thing that we're supposed to get out of this, that Braun Strowman is actually not dumb?
Beating
And we're
Shane,
supposed to be like,
Shane
yeah.
makes him not dumb.
But I feel like he should be trying to prove that he's not dumb in this. But
What
Shane keeps bringing out evidence
the dumbest thing he did was make it a steel cage match
at WrestleMania. Ew. Who
he
does that?
made it a steel cage match, which is, let's be clear, for all these steel cage matches we've ever seen in this company, they always get fucked with. So you're dumb for even saying like you're going to get screwed over unless he
When's
comes
the
up
last time you had a steel cage match at WrestleMania?
maybe WrestleMania 2, nigga. I don't. Oh no, Ken only no, that was a Hell in a Cell. Ken only in a
No,
it had
Hulk
to be
Hogan versus King Kong Bundy at WrestleMania 2.
it had to be WrestleMania 2.
Yo, that's so weird. Who's
Yeah.
setting that up? Like, why would you do that?
Yeah, so the card's pretty much filled out. The card is filled out, and next week you will get a very special episode of the WrestleMania uh, roundup show from me and Meelz, as well as more information on the Patreon. We're going to have very special guests, some people that have been on the show before. We're going to get a really cool roundtable. Can I talk about the roundtable with the crew? We can talk about that. That's not a spoiler.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
It's not.
we're gonna have every single creator on the A Show network
Well,
on the
hope to
show.
God every single one. Please don't have jobs or lives or anything of the rather. But
You
yes.
work for us, but we're gonna we're gonna have everybody on the show, and we're gonna have some special guests too. So I can't wait to share this with you guys, and really just kind of talk about a lot of cool stuff on WrestleMania. It's gonna be a really long show, so as you watch your long wrestling shows, listen to our long recap prediction show for
Mm.
WrestleMania with the hosts of the War Report, the hosts of Writers Room, as well as our good friend Dion. He's gonna get his own show. Don't worry, he's gonna be the host of something very soon, and us. So as always, thank you guys for listening to us. Even if this was a shorter show this week, thanks for listening to us. And next week we'll have a huge show. Thank you for all your support. And for Meelz, I'm Justin. We'll see you next week for one of the most exciting weeks in wrestling fandom, WrestleMania week. We're gonna leave you on one of our favorite songs that come out in 2021. So, peace.